Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening at 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and Happy New Year. It is 2025 for those of you who are watching. I haven't figured it out yet. I think you would have. But yes, it is indeed 2025. Welcome all to the new year. I hope we're all doing well. And if we're not, that's okay. Why would I be doing a show on New Year's Day? It's a holiday. Larry, take a break. Well, I probably should. But of course, I'm insane. But no. The problem that I have been having is that you guys ask me for lots of different types of shows. So I try to keep being topical because my team always bugs me. Larry, be topical. So I got to be topical because my team gets mad if I don't. And I want to do stuff that I want to do, right? Talk about stuff that I care about too. And I want to keep the audience happy, which is you guys. And you guys always ask me what types of shows. Why you see me do some of those Sharpe solution shows or shows on history of the world. That was you guys asked me for that. So you asked me for a bunch of shows. So I try to do a bunch of different shows. You guys have been asking me many months ago. Question was about one of my regrets. And I said, I regret that I didn't think big earlier. Right? That was my biggest regrets that I had. A lot of people agreed. Yes, Larry, I had the same issue. Wish I had thought big earlier, believed in myself, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. I hear that all the time. And then someone said, Larry, do a show on that. Do a show on like how to be successful and how to think big and all those types of things. And I said, well, yeah, I can do that. How can I do that? I'm a business consultant. So I do for a living. I literally give classes on this. This is what I do for a living. So of course I can do it. I thought, all right, let me just go ahead and do one like that. I thought, what better way or what time to do it than New Year's Day, New Year. Why do I like days like this? Some of you have said things like, Larry, it's this holiday or this special day, it's another day. Who cares? Because symbolism does matter for many people. It matters, right? When I spoke during the holidays about reaching out to people and reconnecting, I said it's symbolic for the holidays and people won't think it's weird and it's good. Well, you making a change in your life, hopefully to be better, is also good. When it comes to being symbolic, you can do it on your birthday. You could do it on a special day of like when your mom or your dad was born or passed away. If you're older and your parents passed away, you could do it beginning of spring, school year, or you could do it beginning of the year, right? Many of you probably know this. One of the biggest times for self-help books is January, right? Christmas time in January, people buy the self-help books for their friends, and then they go get the self-help books in January. This is the year I'm going to change my life all the time. I hear it constantly. It's a good time to make this happen. So I am doing the same thing. Now is the time to do this. So what I want to talk about. Most people, when they start talking about things they're going to do, whatever I'm going to, learn a language. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to work out. Whatever's the thing they care about. I'm going to find a boyfriend, find a husband, find a girlfriend, whatever is the thing. I'm going to, quit playing video games all day. Whatever is the thing that you care about, that you're going to decide to change. I'm going to call my mom more, right? Whatever. Okay. All good things. None of them are bad. But are they big enough? Are they big enough? Generally speaking, no. I wish in my life earlier, I had thought big earlier. And the argument I have with myself is if I had gotten to politics 5 years earlier, 10 years earlier, oh my God, would I be in a better spot? I think there's a chance that I could have actually won the governorship if I'd gotten to politics 10 years earlier. It's a chance. Not that I'm saying I would have been governor, but I would have had a chance to win. Why? I would have learned everything by the time I got to the right age and they wouldn't have destroyed everything. So yes, there was actually a chance for that to happen. So starting as soon as you can is good. But Larry, I'm old. Me too. And I'm still rebooting stuff. So I don't care how old you are, right? I'm old too. I don't really care. It doesn't matter at all. Thank you so much, Fahim, for the $9.99. I do appreciate it. Every little bit counts. I do appreciate everything you guys do for me. I really do. Thank you so much. So yes, hopefully I will give you a bunch of good concepts and ideas. The first thing I want you to do before you start thinking big, before you start thinking of whatever you're going to do this year, whatever it is, I want you to think of a couple things. Number one, I want you to think of perfect world. I want you to think about utopia. I'm serious when I say this. If you could have, and whether you're looking in your own lifestyle, now break your life into certain groups, things. Am I thinking about my business world? Is that what I'm worried about? My profession? Is that what I'm concerned about? Is that where I want to make massive change or no? Is it more personal? And personal meaning myself. I want to make a massive in myself. Is it more relationships? Is it with my family, friends, romance, right? What is it that I want to make a massive change in it? And I mean, think of perfect world. Now, here's going to be hard for some of you. For those of you who are more optimistic, you've always been thinking perfect world and it's never worked. Now you don't believe in yourself anymore. If you're more pessimistic, you never go perfect world because you always go, could never happen. Blah, 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 blah. Both of those two things. Now, in America, we have decided, and this is wrong, by the way, but we've decided that optimism is all that matters. That's an amazing thing. Don't be pessimistic. Don't feel bad. That's insanely stupid. But Americans believe that. No, optimism and pessimism are both valuable depending upon what you're doing and where you are in your life. For example, if you are a lawyer, if you are an engineer, I hope you're pessimistic. I hope you look at a contract and go, what could go wrong? This could be bad. I bet they're screwing us. I hope that's true. That's awesome. Look at that. If you're a lawyer and go, I'm sure the contract's fine, you're probably a bad lawyer, right? So pessimism has value. So does optimism, particularly if you're a brander, if you're a sales rep, if you deal with customer service. Very important. You don't be like, yeah, our product sucks. That's not the way to be. So both have value depending upon where you are. Neither one is good or bad, except when it comes to you thinking big. For you to think big, you have to have both pieces in your head. If you know that you are more pessimistic, get an optimist in your world to have this conversation with them. This should be a conversation with somebody else, at least one person. Best case scenario, it's 3 of you. Yes, 3 of you is the best case. One who's more pessimistic, one who's more optimistic, and you. That's the best world if you can do it. If you can get that into your world, that is the best chance. If you can't get that, yourself or somebody else, whatever. This is why some people use coaches or use friends or use whatever if they have that, right? You can. It's better with somebody else. Because the problem is when you start talking yourself, everything in your own head sounds perfect and amazing because it's in your own head. Or the reverse, it sounds terrible and you'll never do it. And now some of you are going to say, Larry, I'm not pessimistic. I'm realistic. You're wrong. You're pessimistic. Anyone who goes, I'm realistic, you are pessimistic. You're fooling yourself. You're not. You're pessimistic. Everyone I know who's pessimistic says they're not, says they're realistic. If you say that, you're pessimistic. And that's okay. I'm not dissing you. I'm saying understand who you are. You're not hurting me by being that. I already know who you are, right? You can lie to me and say you're realistic all day long. I know you're pessimistic. You have to understand in your head, no, I'm pessimistic. And that's not a bad thing. But in this case, it might be. Let me find an optimist to work with. Let me find because I know I'm a pessimist. Let me find one to work with because I want you to start in utopia. Why? If you start in utopia, perfect world, natural pessimism and reality will begin to bring you back. If you could, in your mind, look at the idea of the out-of-the-box thinking. Look at in the box, and then outside of that box is outside of the box thinking, and then out of that is utopia, meaning you're not going to get there. It's a fantasy. And then out of the box thinking is stretch, but you could do. In the box is normal. Well, Larry, we should do in the box thinking. That makes the most sense. It does not. Why? Remember something. Most people fail and are unhappy. That's a fact. You don't like that? You live in a fantasy world. There wouldn't be a multi-gazillion dollar business in optimism and coaches and trainers and self-help books if everybody's successful. They're not. Most people are failures. Most people are unhappy. And failures, by the way, not by me saying they're a failure. It's irrelevant if I think you're a failure. By yourself. You decide if you're a failure or not. And by most people internally, they feel like they failed, that they're unhappy. We see a massive amount of unhappiness throughout the entire world, particularly America. People are unhappy and failing. That's happening. Again, by their own. That's the issue, by their own. Well, if most people are unhappy and failing, and you do what most people do, what are the odds? You're going to be unhappy and fail. Don't do that. Don't do what most people do. Do what Larry Sharpe tells you to do because I'm smart. Do what I'm telling you. Don't do what most people tell you to do. That's not the right answer because you're probably going to wind up being unhappy and failing. And again, you judge that, not me, right? You judge that, not me. That's the critical piece. It doesn't matter what I think of you. It matters what you think of you. So again, why am I saying all this stuff? Because even if you are doing well, you may not think you're doing well enough. Even if you think you're doing terrible, you can do better. We can all do better. But life, as you've heard me say many times, is two things: habits and odds. Better habits increase your odds. It doesn't mean that you're going to be successful if you do all the habits. You may still get unlucky and be a failure. And again, in your eyes, you might still be that. Even if you do good habits, you can have terrible habits and get lucky. It does happen, but you're going to increase the odds of you being successful in your own eyes if you have the right habits. First thing I want you to do is start thinking way out of the box utopia. So I'm going to ask you guys, think in your head, what is the perfect world for you? And I just saw a Liberty lady says, she says on Rumble, my perfect world, working from home. Liberty lady, not big enough. Not big enough. Is it working from home, running an empire? Is it working from home, making six figures, working 4 hours a day? Is it working from home, having multiple businesses? Is it working from home and then it's not money, but it's something else? It's working from home and having time to take care of your entire family? Is it working from home so you can make enough money so that you can donate that time and energy to somebody else? Now, again, I don't decide this. You do. I just asked you to go further. What you said is nothing big at all. Lots of people work from home. Not to be insulting, but to push you. Work from home. So what? A lot of people do. What's that next step? What's the bigger piece? Is it dollars? That's fine. Is it power? That's fine. Is it influence? Is it family time? Again, I don't decide. You do. You do. Phil comes up. Perfect world. Multi-million-dollar investment fund with a home prototype lab. Now look at that. Now we're talking. Phil. Now we're talking. This is what I'm talking about. Something like that. So we're talking perfect world. Multi-million-dollar investment fund with a home prototype lab. So that means now you're building stuff. You're basically like, you're the old school Tesla and Edison. You're making stuff, creating stuff, maybe like Elon Musk in a home prototype lab, making stuff, multi-billion-dollar investment fund. I love it. Brilliant. That's amazing. All right. So that's out there. What are the things now that are going to start holding you back? Tinkerbell says basically Batman. So Tinkerbell wants to go out and fight crime, and fight crime. I love it. She's gonna basically be Batman. She's gonna be a billionaire and go out and fight crime. Love it. Great. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. I know some of you are laughing, but we're not going to stay there. And that's the point. So many people will just look at this and laugh and say it's dumb. No. I want to stay there and find out what's coming back. Andrea says, you want to be Tony Stark? Yes, fine. Yes, fine. You want to be Tony Stark? Great. Now we start pulling ourselves back with what's going to hold us back. What's going to slow us down? What's more realistic? It's to pull us back. And as we're going to pull back, we're going to realize what's real and what's not. Here's the problem. If you start with out-of-the-box thinking, you'll end in the box. If you start in the box, you'll end in the box. If you start utopia, you can actually get some out-of-the-box thinking. So let me stay with that for a little bit. I'm going to stay with that. We want to be Tony Stark. Phil says Pepper Potts. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, whatever. You want to be Tony Stark. You want to be Batman. All good. As you start getting out there, thinking about that, what's going to hold you back? What's slowing you down? What's really gonna make things tough? Carl says our destructive habits pull us back. Yes, but I'm gonna cover that later. What I'm asking right now is, Rick says, can't afford a bat cave. Yes, just a bat hole. These are all important things. Yes, absolutely. All right, so maybe I can't get a massive investment fund right now. But what can I get? Can I get an investment fund, period? Can I build something out, period? Now, when I get to that point, which we're just talking about right now, well, I could get someone to invest in something I build. I can make something. I can get people to get me to build something. People get investments. That's a thing. Now, for someone who's hanging around, that's probably really a big deal for someone who's never done it before. If you never raised money for a project, it's a big deal. Now we're not out of the box thinking, and now we're winning. This is the thing I want you to start doing in your own life, like today. I'm not even joking. today. Do that. Think about what we just did right now. Walk down that road. Now, when you get to that point of what do I want to do? All right, whatever that thing is. In this case, I'm going to say Phil decides he wants to actually start an investment fund. He wants to actually invest. He's not going to be multi-million yet. He's not going to be Batman. That's utopia. But out of the box thinking is, you know what? I'm going to start an investment fund, and I'm going to get people to give me money so I can build stuff. Okay, I love that. That's a great one to do. All right, now what's the next step? That sounds wonderful, but that's just talking. Now people are going to say, Larry, you got to write down your goals. Yes, if you want to, but it doesn't matter. What, Larry? You're telling me it doesn't matter. There's an old story you're going to hear. A lot of coaches will tell you the story. It's a story about, I think it was Yale or Harvard, whatever the piece was. And they were like these, 100 Harvard graduates, and they checked them out, and like 4% of them had written goals, and 96% didn't. And they checked, 20 years later, and the 4% had made the same amount as the other 96%. That's all garbage. A lie. Never happened. That whole story is just made up. Never happened. You can't find any evidence of it because it never happened. That's a made up thing. Written down goals are nice, but does not mean you're going to win. I know Carl says smart goals. Smart goals are nice. Doesn't mean you're going to win. These are nice things to do. And lots of corporate guys teach that garbage. You got to make a smart goal, whatever. You can write every goal down, make every goal possible. If you don't have an environment of success, you're going to fail. That's how it works. Do you think the most successful people in the world, that you hear this all the time? I gotta, I wrote myself a check for $1 million 10 years ago, and that's why I got it. No, that's not how it worked. You had an environment of success, and that's why you got successful, and you also got lucky. Those things always work. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who's successful is by default lucky. What I'm saying is when you have success, there are 3 things you have to have for success to make it big. 3. And the last one is a positive stroke of luck. Now, what you'll hear people say is, well, the harder I worked, the luckier I got. Also not true. The smarter you worked, the luckier you got. Lots of people work hard and don't get lucky. Just keep that in mind. A lot of people work hard and don't get lucky. It's not about I worked hard. No, lots of people work hard. Did you work smart? Now, what are the first 2 after the positive stroke of luck? You have to have a business model that is open to positive strokes of luck. Critical piece. You got to get people in your network, whoever those people are, to want to help out in some way. Then you get a positive stroke of luck and you win. Right? What's that idea of being successful? Having an opportunity, being ready for the opportunity, that's lucky. Yes, that's the point. So I yapped a bit, but let me come back to what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna stay with Phil's for a while. I'm gonna stay with Phil with a while. Carl goes on to say, what about positive thinking? Garbage. It means nothing. That's just stuff people say. That's stuff people say. That's just stuff people say. Remember something. The vast majority of people, and I've been in this field now for 21 years. The vast majority of people who go to trainers, coaches, whatever, don't want to be better. They don't. They just want to feel better. So most coaches just make you feel better, which is things like positive thinking and SMART goals. How many people been in these things for 20 years and still aren't successful? But they feel better, right? I made my money in this field by not being that guy. I don't know if I told somebody this, but how I made my money becoming a coach. I would go to HR departments and say, you must have at least one executive here, probably many of them, who think all coaching is garbage, doesn't work at all. They're uncoachable. They were told by coaches they're uncoachable. Now, like, yeah, it's always a guy, by the way. It's never a woman. It's always a guy. And like, yeah, it's Bob, it's Jim, it's whoever. Great, give me him. And if he's not 100% happy in like 30 days, it's free. What? Yeah, give me him. If you're not happy in 30 days, it's free. And I have it in my contract, an unconditional money back guarantee. It's literally in my contract. Unconditional. You don't like it? Free. That's how I made it. Because I'm not that guy. So if you're going to hear me, I'm not going to say positive thinking. I'm not going to say SMART goals. Those are nice. I'm not against them. But if you know what I was saying, I was asking you how you feel about your own success. I'm admitting that for many of us out there, we're unhappy. We think we're not good enough. Many of us think that. That's okay. But you don't get success by positive thinking. You do not get success with positive thinking. You don't get better confidence by thinking you're confident. You get confidence by achieving things. I said I would do the thing. I did the thing. Now I feel better about myself. Now I have actual self-esteem. Now I have actual confidence. Now I move to the next level. That's how you actually do it. That's how you actually do it. So let me move on, if I could, from this piece. So now we look at what Phil wants to do. He's going to start this investment fund. He's going to get investment. He's going to get people to invest in his funds. So we can build something. I love it. Awesome. The next question I want him to ask about this is, who cares and why? Once you have some idea, you have to ask a question. Who cares and why? If you can't answer that question, who cares and why, what are you going to do? So I would ask that question of yourself. Who cares and why? And Phil's going to ask them, well, it's this or that. Now, this is why you want someone else in that room with you, so they can give you pushback. You want an optimist who goes, oh, yeah, I'm sure the whole world will love this. And you want a pessimist who goes, nobody that wants that garbage. That's stupid. You want both of them in that room to go back and forth. In my perfect world, I want 3 people. If I can get 3. That's my perfect world, right? But I take who I can get. Now, we want to go back and forth with Phil. Okay, who cares about this thing? Why would they come to you? Why do they care? Why would they give you money? Why does it matter? And you have a conversation. And that might be 1 minute. That might be days. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it might be days. You have the conversation back and forth and you chat about who cares about this and why. Is this an investor? Why do I want to know this? Because you want to know who your customer is going to be. Now, Phil might say, I'm going to make this great thing. I'm making this up here. Again, Phil. I'm going to make this great thing. And it's going to be this machine that, I don't know, that pours water for you. Okay, great. A water pouring machine. So you might say, great. So who's the customer? Well, the customer is people who want water. Is it? Are they going to give you money? Well, they'll buy the product. I didn't ask that question. I said they're going to give you money. Oh, well, no, they're not. They're not, are they? Because you got to make the damn thing first. You need an investor. So who's your customer? Oh, my customer is my investor. Yes. In this case, your customer is your investor. Right? In this case, your customer is your investor. That's who your customer is in this case. Now, if you're making something and sell it to some people, your customer might be actual customers, people out there. In this case, it's not. It's investors. So what investors would care and why? You walk down that road. Now you start seeing what you're doing and you will watch. You'll start thinking bigger and better. You will start doing it. You can guarantee it will start working. Next piece. Once you figure this out, and this could be a long conversation or a 5-minute conversation, whatever it is. Could be over the course of days if you want to, back and forth, whatever. Whatever the idea is, you now want to ask yourself something. 3 questions. Question number 1. Remembering something that people do things for 3 different reasons. Promise of gain, fear of loss, and honor. Those are 3 reasons why people do anything. So why you watch this show, it's why you got up in the morning, whatever. You either thought, if I'll watch this show because I'll learn something, promise of gain. If I don't watch this show, I'll miss something, fear of loss. Oh, I told my friends I'd be here, so I'll be here, honor. 1 of the 3, or all 3 of them. That's why you're doing it. Otherwise, you don't do it. That's why everyone does everything. So now that you've got your first part, who cares and why, now I know who my customer is and why they're going to care about this. Now, why do you care about it? Why do you care about it now? What are you going to get? And Phil, you got to ask yourself, what are you going to get if this actually works? Now, it could be something simple as money. Could be. I'm not against money. Money's good. Pay your bills. Could be something else. Could be a warm, fuzzy feeling. It could be you'll be able to do a certain thing. You'll be able to move to Hollywood. Like you've always wanted to move to Hollywood and be an actor. Whatever the thing is. Again, you decide the value in this, not me. You do. What are you going to get? Number 1. 2, what if you don't do it? What are you going to lose? What do you lose if you don't get it? If you don't move forward? If investors don't give you money? If you don't build the thing out? What do you lose? What will you not get? Will you be stuck? Will you fail? What will you lose? And lastly, why should you do it? The honor piece. Who else benefits from this besides you? Does your family benefit as you make more money? Do the people benefit because they get the product? Do your does your children benefit because they get more cash? Who benefits? Who's the person who benefits from this besides you? That's the honor piece. Is it the nation that benefits? Is it the world that benefits? Who is it? And they may say, well, Larry, why are you having all these conversations? Because if this becomes deeper inside you, if you get it at those three levels, and if you're talking to other people about it, this becomes a difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation, and many people say that motivation is like taking a shower, need it every day. Motivation, yeah, it's true. You're right. Usually, I got to listen to my book listen to my audiobook every day, or get some motivational quotes every day, whatever. Inspiration means it's inside. It doesn't matter what happens. I get up and I go no matter what. If you have a real promise of gain, a real fear of loss, a real honor piece, you will be inspired. If you talk about this among people who you care about and they start talking about this, you will be inspired. You will be inspired. Lunatic says discipline. My friend. Now, discipline is important. Don't get me wrong. And I believe discipline is a muscle and you must always exercise it. It's one of the reasons why I fast often. I fast just to be disciplined. I'll do a 1 day fast, 2 day fast. I agree with you completely. It's why when I say I have a show at 7, I still try to do a show when I'm exhausted. I still do it anyway. I think you're correct. It does matter. But if you're already disciplined, that's fine. What if you're not? It's a muscle that is exercised. How do you do that? By having that promise of gain, that fear of loss, and that honor. And the next piece, once you've decided you want to do this thing, if you have no one in that room with you, which is why you heard me say it more than once, no one in the room with you, the odds of you doing it are slim to none. You might, if you've got discipline, if you already practiced, you might. If you don't have discipline already, you're not going to do it. You have to have someone else there. In my perfect world, if I can, once I've figured out what I'm going to do, whatever that thing is, I'm going to tell 2 people. 2. I'm going to tell somebody who I respect and somebody who I love. I'm going to tell them. Now, that may not be the same person. Like if I both love and respect Christine, she only counts for one of them. So I then got to also tell Missy. So I got to tell 2 people. And if I happen to both love and respect Missy, she only counts for one. I got to pick which one. Is Missy the respect or the love one? Is Christine the love or respect one? But I got to pick. And love doesn't have to be romantic. It can be, but it can also be family love, can be friend love, but someone who you love. So someone you love, someone you respect. You must tell 2 people. Why? Because it is very easy for us as humans to disappoint ourselves. Very easy. We do it all the time. We have an excuse. We fail, was gonna, whatever. Very easy. Very easy. I got a smart goal, whatever. But now I just told Christine and Missy, and I respect Christine, and I love Missy. I'm now going to disappoint them? Ooh, that's harder. That's harder. Now, does it mean that I'll do it and be successful? Maybe not. But following these rules just made my odds higher. These are good habits to have and to start, and it just made the odds of my success shoot up. That's what just happened. Now the odds of me doing it went up. Because now I got to have an excuse. Now I got to tell Christine, well, I was just kidding and whatever. And I respect Christine. So she's going to look at me and go, what? You told me this and you didn't? And I love Missy. And now she's disappointed in me? I don't want that. It's a whole lot harder. So people do it all the time. I'm going to do this thing and I won't tell anybody until I'm successful. Exactly the wrong answer. The reverse. Tell them when you're not. But tell just 2 people, not the world, 2 people. If you shouldn't care what the world thinks yet at all. At one point you might, depends what you're doing, but you shouldn't. You should care about the people in your inner circle. That's what matters. So 2 people. You do those and oh my God, you will see something different. Now Rick says, this is a good year to forgive and make peace with people you once were, I guess once were angry at. Yes. This is another great. Tell them. Tell someone who you were mad at. Me and Christine were fighting. We were mad at each other. She's mad at me. Don't like me anymore. So I call her up and say, look, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to share something with you, Christine. I know we had our issues last year, but I'm trying to make some changes. And I'm going to share some with you because even though I was mad at you for whatever reason, I respect you. And I know that even though you were mad at me, you respect me. So this is what I'm trying to achieve. I'm going to do this thing. Wow. You just killed two birds with one stone. Christine goes, Larry just told me that? What? He's serious. He really wants to fix this thing. Yeah, I want to forgive and forget and move on. I'm going to do it. It's a great, I like killing two birds with one stone. It's a wonderful idea. Doing both. Once you've got all that down, I got my three pieces. I know who cares and why. I see my big picture piece. I now want to ask the most important question. And again, hopefully by other people. And that is, what's the first step? Not what do I need for next week, next month, next year? What is the literal first step? Is the first step getting a web page? Is the first step writing a business plan? Is the first step picking a project? Is the first step creating a list of donors? Is the first step making a timeline for the project? I don't know. You decide. I just don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. This goes back to what Lunatic was talking about. This is the discipline piece you're going to begin. You're going to decide what the first step is. And in this fictitious case, the first step is picking a project. Don't know if that's real in this case, Phil, but in this case, it is. Picking a project is the first step. Great. When are you going to pick the project by? Well, I got to do it soon. Nope. I want to know exactly when. And when I say exactly when, I don't mean next week. I mean by Tuesday at 5. That's my deadline. I mean Sunday at 3. I mean a specific deadline. Day and time. When will this task be completed? Next week does not work. In a month, no. I want February 1st, noon. Midnight on the 15th. It's fine. I don't care when it is. I want a specific time for that. Then when you tell those same two people, I'm going to tell Christine, I'm going to pick this project, and I'm going to pick this project by the 5th of the month. January 5th, midnight, I will have that project done. Missy, I will have the project selected by January 5th, midnight. Please, Christine, reach out to me after midnight. Check what I said. Please, Missy, reach out to me. See if I did it. Please, I'm asking you. The odds of me doing that just shot up tremendously. I'm probably going to do it. I might not, because really, to Ludwig's point, what if I haven't disciplined? What if I've been failing for years and I've lost hope in myself and I don't think I have any discipline? What if I'm there? It still may be a struggle. But hopefully, if Missy really loves me and Christine really respects me, they'll nudge me and go, Larry, you said you were. Come on, you got to give me another deadline. You can't let us walk away. We talked about this. You gave me the promise of gain, the fear of loss, and the honor. You gave me that. You told me who cares and why. You told me the whole thing. We talked about this thing. Remember, we did the out of the box thinking, like Larry said, and you made it. It's funny. I'm saying this, but that's how you begin to build your inner circle of people who are going to care about you and support you on the way through. Because anything you want to achieve is going to be hard, or it's not worth achieving. Anything outside the box is going to have failures and setbacks and tough stuff. And if you know people around you going, come on, get back up, man. What are you doing? If you don't have inspiration, you will quit. I've told people many times, particularly those people who are changing their careers, I will say, I need you to start doing something that you absolutely would do for free. I said, what? Yeah. Think about something you would do for free. Well, I'll do this for free. Okay, how do you get paid for it? What? How do you get paid for it? Well, I don't know. That's your task. Because whatever you try to achieve now is going to be hard. And you have to want it so bad and be so inspired by it that when you're getting your ass kicked, when things are failing, you don't quit and just go back to work a job. How many people do you know, if not you, who had some great plan to do some great thing, and then, well, it didn't work out well, so I went back to working. I went back to this. I went back to whatever you felt safest doing, even though you knew it was wrong. Everyone watching right now either has done it themselves or knows someone who has. Guaranteed, or both. Guaranteed, because that's what humans do. I've done it too. I wish I was sitting here saying I never do it. I've done it too. Fall back to what I know. It's easier. Fall back to what I know. I'll give you an interesting personal story that made me really think about this. Coaching for me has always been easy work to get, right? It's not my favorite work, but it's my easiest work to get. And there's no future in it because it's only me and it's my time and there's no future in it there's no way to scale it, right? I've tried. I put out videos. I did CDs like 10, 15 years ago. I did CDs. They all failed. Everything I tried failed. So I did try to do other things to break out my coaching, but it comes like the same thing. It's me or it's nothing. So several years back, I was trying to get a bunch of money to pay off debt. I said, you know what? I'm not going to bother other stuff. I'm just going to start coaching because it's just so easy to do. And I took on a lot of coaching clients, like a lot, just too many. And I didn't know that you can get burned out in coaching. If you're a decent coach. If you're a crappy coach, no, because then you don't care. But if you're actually a coach with empathy and you care about people, it can really burn you out. So I have so many clients, I don't realize it. And all of a sudden, you can tell this many years ago, 10, 15 years ago, maybe, I don't remember. It's many years ago. So I all of a sudden found myself sitting on my couch watching MTV. I don't watch MTV. It's not a thing that I do. But I don't remember getting it. Like, I don't remember sitting down. I don't remember putting the TV on. I don't remember putting on MTV. I don't remember any of it. I just all of a sudden remember, why am I watching 16 and pregnant or whatever, something like one of the shows that MTV has, like 16 and pregnant or something like that. I think that's what it was. But anyway, whatever. It was one of those shows like teenage girls in trouble, right? And I'm like, what? I had so many coaching clients that my brain just wanted to shut off. I wanted zero alpha waves. This was a self-defense mechanism. So my brain shut off, sat me in front of my TV, and put on the most brain dead thing I could think of, which was MTV. And I was like, oh, I have too many coaching clients. I had to stop. So I couldn't take anymore. So I know that I have a limit. My limit is about 10. That's about my limit. I can't take more than about 10. That's about my max. I go past that, I burn out. So that's about my max. So I learned that lesson. But why was I doing it? Because it was easy. Because I knew it. Because it was safe. I needed to make money. Other stuff wasn't working. Fall back to coaching. It's easy. It's what I do. But it's not scalable. It can't be my future, right? And I had to realize that. I had to make change. We all do it. I'm sure either you've done it or you know someone who has. Don't fall back to things that you know. Instead, get other people who you know and trust involved. Get them to talk to you about it. It does matter. So I hope that piece up front would help you to kind of understand conceptually what to do. I'm going to walk down some time management and other pieces that will be important also. But remember, the bigger picture, what many of you asked me to do is to talk about thinking big. I'm going to cover some details in a second. You asked, this is how you think big. This is how you think big. You think utopia, perfect world, come back. After you've come back to a spot, you then go, okay, who cares and why? Okay, promise of gain, fear of loss, honor. Okay, what's my first step? Okay, who am I going to tell? What's my deadline? Specific. You start moving that, you will watch yourself get going. You will watch yourself start moving. And the hardest part is moving. Remember, most big things just happen over time. You can take your time doing nothing, or you can take yourself going instead to something new and moving. If you are inspired and you have people around you who are behind you, you've just increased the odds of you actually doing it. You've just increased the odds of you actually doing it. That's the issue. So I'm going to grab a couple of comments if I could, and then I'll move to a secondary piece. But by the way, guys, if you like what I just said, if you think it's going to have value for you, click the button known as like. By the way, I usually charge for that. I didn't. That's for you. So pay me with a like. Click that button. It's free. You got this for free. Click the like button. If you haven't reposted this or shared it, please do so. It does matter. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And when you do, select all notifications on Sharpe Way or Larry Sharpe YouTube, so you get notifications. Click that button, all notifications. It does matter. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter. If you want to super chat me, please feel free. Super chat me on YouTube if you want to, or you can Rumble rant me on Rumble if you want to. And becoming a member is always great. A member on YouTube, either Larry Sharpe or Sharpe Way. Click that $49 per month, keeps me going. And of course, you can also become a member on Rumble if you click subscribe, not join, subscribe on Rumble during the live. That will also work if you do any of those. Grab a couple of comments, and then I'm going to grab some other pieces if I could. All right, number one piece, I want to try to grab a couple of these. Kim says, hoping for any positive success in 2025. Me too. I do like the idea of using this as a reason to move forward. Phil says, be sure to complain and blame everyone else for your problems. Phil, let me touch that piece. That does feel good. Yes, there's a thing right now which you'll see, and for those of you who've gone through any kind of coaching or therapy, you will see what I call, what people in my world call affirmation coaching or affirmation therapy. They don't call it, they call it therapy. They call it coaching. It's not. It's affirmation coaching, affirmation therapy. And why would you take that? Because to my earlier point, most people who go to therapy, most people who want to go to coaches don't want to get better. They just want to feel better. And coaches know that. And therapists know that. And therapists want to get paid. And coaches want to get paid. So what do? They do what you just said. When you show up, Phil, they go, you know what? Phil, you're a great and awesome person. You deserve the best. They use words like deserve. If your coach or if your therapist uses deserve, you have by default an affirmation coach or therapist. And they're not helping you. They're helping you to feel better. They're not helping you. They are a waste of your time and money if you want to get better. If you just want to feel good, they're perfect. They use anything like deserve, you should. If they tell you you're awesome or valuable without knowing if you're awesome or valuable. You don't hear me say that shit. You might be screwing up badly. I will tell you that. Right? I will tell you got to fix yourself. I will tell you that. If they don't do that, you have affirmation therapist or an affirmation coach, which again, very valuable. I can make a whole lot more money if I do that. I just personally can't do that. But yes, that is very successful. People make a lot of money on that. So when you say that, if you go to someone and you go, it's not my fault. It's cause my girlfriend, cause my boyfriend, cause my cousin, cause my boss, cause my whatever. And they go, you're right. You deserve better. That makes you feel good. Not going to help you. You're going to be with that therapist for 20 years and they know it. You're going to be with that coach for 20 years and they know it. And they're happy about it. The worst part about my business model is people often come to me and then they leave. Not a very good business model, which is why I said my coaching is not sustainable. It's not scalable. I have some who stay with me for a long time. I do, but they just they're always doing more things, right? If they're constantly doing more things, they stay with me. But if they're not, they get better and move on. Yeah, I know, not the best. That's why I'm saying I'm giving this away because it's not a sustainable, it's not a scalable business model. Affirmation, super scalable. Just write a book on how to feel good. Move on. Done. I am writing a book though, so that might be scalable, maybe. Anyway, but that's my point. But there's a second piece though. And I have teased this before in the past, but I mean it when I say it. We all, at one point in our life, want to have a pity party. I totally get it. I have them too. I'm gonna be clear. I'm not sitting here saying I'm so wonderful and I do the same shit, right? The question I will always ask you, and you need to ask yourself, how long are you gonna have a pity party for? Is it 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days? Those are all acceptable. Once it's past that 5-day mark, too much. I'd rather be 5 minutes, but if it's gotta be 5 hours or 5 days, okay. You got to feel sorry for yourself. You got to whine and cry about how woe is me. I get it. We all do it. And it feels good. You got to yell and scream or cry it out or whatever's your thing you got to do. You got to process what happened. I get it. Process it how you need to process it. But once it's past 5 days, you've gone too far. And here's the worst part. As I say, life is habits and odds. Once you're past 5 days and you start getting to 5 weeks and 5 months, blaming people and complaining is now your habit. That's no longer a pity party. That's who you are. Let me repeat that. That is no longer a pity party. That's now who you are. Your habits are who you are. People always ask me, say, Larry, you'll meet people. And if you met me, you know me. When you meet people, why do you always so fast help them if they ask to be helped? They go, what about that? And then you give them some help, give them some advice, whatever. It's because that's my habit. My habit is to help. That's what I do. It's who I am now. And they're like, did you always do that? I said, I did a lot, but now I do it on purpose. And now I do it naturally now, but I still do it on purpose. They're like, why? I said, because I didn't want to judge people. I wanted to be the guy who helps no matter what. And this is my idea of working hard. This is my idea of working smart. I try to assist anybody I can find. Some of those people are going to be important, wealthy, connected, whatever that I need. And when I'm in front of that person, they're like, this guy's good. He helps. And boom. And I've gotten lots of jobs that way, lots of work that way. Absolutely. So, yes. Cheyenne, thank you. Thanks for the info, Larry. God, a happy new year. God bless everyone. Thank you so much. It's so sweet. Thank you, Cheyenne. I do appreciate that. Yes. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate it. Yes. So 100%. So the point I was bringing up here is I get if you want to feel sorry for yourself. We all do. I get if you want to complain, cry, or yell, or whatever is the way you process. Okay. But once you get past this amount of time, now that's who you've become. Now that's who you've become. So yes. Rossa says, this is my break of the day, Larry. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yes. James says, New Year's Day, a holiday where people make their New Year's resolutions, then break them because the other day forgot about it, don't care, or give up on it. Yes. And I'm saying create them the right way with the right ones that are big and that also, not only are they big, but on top of that, they inspire you so you don't give up on it. Why do you think I play the long game? Why do you think I'm still here playing the long game? Because I'm inspired. I practice what I preach. I have people around me who push me all the time. Who are like, Larry, you said, Larry, you were gonna, Larry, we're here because. A lot of people rely on me now. Not necessarily for, like their livelihood. Some do, but not many. But it's because of what they expect of me, right? So now I have that on me. I've created a world to where now my environment is I must keep pushing forward. I've created an environment. I practice discipline, as Lunatic says. I've created a world where people are sitting here. I have an idea of promise of gain, fear of loss, and honor. They're my own world. So I've created a world where I keep going. That's why even though I get my ass kicked multiple times, I keep going. And I also know who I am. I am, and people know me, I am a hardcore optimist. Hardcore optimist. I'm like, I'm going to go rule the world. I'm going to win everything. I'm a hardcore optimist. So I have more pessimistic people around me. In fact, some of my closest advisors are very pessimistic. It doesn't bother me. I need them. I need them. So anyway, I'm saying it because I'm not, again, it's not because, I think I'm smarter or whatever. It's because I've been through this too, and I follow the same things. The AC, how are you? Thank you for being a member, of course. The other countries think we're insane for optimism. Correct. You're right. Most countries don't have the same. We've decided in America that optimism is by default better. It's not in certain cases, it's better, right? It's not bad either. Even crazy optimism is not bad by default. It's bad for certain things. And pessimism also bad for certain things. But when you want to take charge of something, be a leader in your own life, be a leader in work, be a leader in a nonprofit, a leader in a movement, you must combine the two. And a phrase I use when I'm in that position is not what's the best case scenario or what's the worst case scenario. And here's another thing how you'll know if you have a pessimist. You'll say, what can we expect? And the guy will say, well, worst case scenario. I didn't ask that. That's pessimist. She'll start with that. Worst case scenario, pessimist, right? Or the opposite. Well, you know what could happen? This great thing, optimist. I ask the question, what's most likely? And often you'll see when I ask that question, or if you ask that question, your optimist or pessimist who's hardcore will ignore it and still say, worst case scenario. You got to stop them. Stop. It's not what I asked. I asked what's most likely. Well, I remember this one time. I didn't say the one time. What's most likely? What's probable? What's most probable? And they go, well, the world could end. So that happens, the world usually ends? Well, no, it never ended. So then stop saying that. I'm saying what's most probable. And that's how you can deal with your optimist and your pessimist. Optimist, well, we could make $1 bazillion. So we use make $1 bazillion? Well, no. So stop saying that. I'm asking you what's most probable, most likely. And I think that's what's much better. There's another joke I've heard. I think it's Europeans. Europeans talking about how they know who's the American tourist because the American tourist is smiling. So yes. Oh, the American tourist. There we go. There we go. Monkey See, Monkey Do says, me and my 2 cats, Orange is optimistic and Void is pessimistic. Perfect. There we go. There we go. Daisy says, I mean, if you think you can't and then you try or quit too soon, you never will. Well, there's the piece, right? You might think you can't. And if you think you can't, AC, I can't stop that. And that's my point of inspiration. And that's my point of your circle pushing you. Because if I think I can't, if Phil, honestly, I mean, I don't think Phil feels this way, but let's say Phil actually thinks, I can never do this. I'm just talking trash because I'm on this show with Larry and I'm talking trash. I can never do this. What if he honestly believes that? I can't magically make him do that. I can't go, think, good, whatever, warm thoughts. That's garbage that people just say. He's still going to think he can't. But I have to get him to believe that other people are expecting him to do his best. And he has to be inspired. Because here's the best part about this. Let's say, for the sake of this argument, Phil doesn't think he can do it. He thinks no way in hell. I give him a nudge because I'm one of his guys. And Andrea's the other one. Me and Andrea. We're the ones who will kind of say, he told us he loves me and respects Andrea, right? So he uses those two. And he's inspired. He's got his promise of gain, his fear of loss, and his honor piece. He knows who his customer is. And he starts it. And he does fail. Because we figured out it's the wrong audience or the wrong this. We were wrong. We screwed up. We're wrong. Of course it's going to fail. We were wrong. So it fails. So Phil goes, I knew it couldn't work. Well, me and Andrea are going to be like, no. We just got it wrong. Let's do it again. Now, what winds up happening? If Phil sees me and Andrea say do it again, what does Phil begin to get? Some confidence. Oh, they didn't abandon me. They didn't abandon me when I fell. They stayed with me. Huh. Maybe they do believe in me. Maybe they do think I can do this. Now, he still doesn't believe it, but he thinks we believe it. He goes, okay, we'll do it again. Try it again. This time we succeed. And again, only with the first thing, we actually pick the right idea and investors are interested in it. That was the first step. We did it. Now, me and Andrew go, Phil, look what you did. You did it. And Phil goes, oh my God, I did it. Phil now gains some self-confidence. Now, he didn't believe it. He thought he was going to fail. He thought he couldn't do it. But because he set up this environment the right way, he pushed on and then got a win. And small wins will eventually equal big wins. That's just human nature. Eventually, Phil begins, I can do it. I can do the next one. I can do the next one, the next one, the next one. I can keep going. So yes, you can't fake motivation. It doesn't work. It makes you feel good. But the problem is, here's the problem with the motivation piece. It becomes a drug. It becomes a drug. And you've seen it. There are people, and I've seen it too. I'm sure you've seen it. You might be one of those people. Maybe you're out there reading it. You're someone who just always reads self-help books because every time you read it, you feel good. You always listen to self-help stuff, but you never get any better because it makes you feel good. You become addicted to it. I don't want you to use motivation as a drug. I don't want you to use self-help as a drug. I want you to actually gain self-confidence. You don't need it anymore. I don't want you to need motivation. That's the point. I want to wean you off of it. I don't want you to need it. I want you to be able to react on your own, but you can only do that if you start having actual successes. Small first, and then bigger ones. You don't need it anymore, right? Then you just watch my show because you think I'm handsome, which is a very good reason to watch my show. But that would be the only reason why I do it, just for that, which is okay. So yes. All right. Rick says, I thought I was in the like button, but I just gave Larry the finger. I don't mind. It's okay. I don't mind at all. Totally fine. So Shan says, my focus is my concern this year to stay focused and complete more projects. I have too much unfinished business. Here's what I want to ask you to do with that. I'm going to cover this in a minute. But the first piece I want you to do is start to prioritize. Start to prioritize. If it's not done in a year, do you care? I'm serious. Every single thing that you want to get done, list it out somehow, write it, type it, whatever was best for you. And go down that list and go, if it's next year, if it's January 2026, and this thing is not done, do I care? If you know, scratch it off. It's not valuable. I'm not joking. Get rid of it. You're never going to do it. It's just making you feel bad. I'm going to repeat that. If any of you people want to do something, put it down. If you say, if it's January of 2026, if it's not done, do I care? If you go, I'm not really going to care, scratch it off. Next thing I'll ask you, was this thing on the list 2 years ago? Was this same thing on the list in January of 2024? It was. Scratch it off. You don't care about it anyway. Get rid of it. The easiest way to cull your stuff. Write it all down. If that thing that you talked about was on your list in January 2024, and it's on the list now, and if it's ready in 2020, scratch it. Just get rid of it. Do something else. You might go, wait a minute, Larry, but what if I really want to do it? Then it'll come back, won't it? Then it'll come back. 3 months from now, I'll be like, that thing, I should really do it. It'll come back. If it doesn't come back, get rid of it. Not just cull it. The less things, the better. Cull these things. You think you're doing you think by putting it down on something, you're helping. You're not. You're making yourself look overwhelmed, feel overwhelmed, and less stuff gets done. Cull it as soon as you possibly can. That's the most important piece. So just keep that piece in mind. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to do a couple more of these. I'm going to cover some specifics, how to start getting stuff done in a moment. So yes. All righty. Let's see. Carl says, our destructive habits pull us back. Yes, destructive habits. Here's how you create destructive habits. There's many reasons why you do it, but you've heard me many times say this, and I'll keep saying it because it matters. For us to be happy, we have to feel loved, feel respected, and have purpose. If we don't have those three things, none of them, if we have none of them, we will become self-destructive. Guaranteed. That's how humanity works. Everyone who is acting in a self-destructive way does not have these three things. They don't feel respected. Now, again, feel. You might be respected. You don't feel it. And respect is not based upon does someone respect you. We look at this as humans by our peer group. You're like, well, that doesn't make any sense, Larry. That's how we do it. So am I respected based upon other people who I put in my peer group? And I put them in. Carl, you put them in your peer group. However you do it. I don't pick your peer group. You do. So you decide that you were in this peer group, whatever you decided. Are you respected relative to that peer group? If you feel that you are not, that's a problem, right? Next, do you feel loved? And again, your peer group. Do you feel loved compared to your peer group? Do you feel loved? And last, do you have a purpose? If you have none of those three, you will become self-destructive. If you only have one or two of those, you will often become destructive in the others. So if you feel respected, you have a purpose, but you don't feel loved, you will often be destructive in your love life. See my point? Respect. You'll have no self-respect, right? So you will validate what you don't have. No purpose. You'll be lost. You'll spend your time wasting your time on watching shows that are not my show. You'll do that if you have no purpose, right? So that you'll see people often do that. Why do I say that? Because if you see yourself being self-destructive in those arenas, those three arenas, in those arenas, that's what you're searching for. That's what you're searching for. Now you can act. So if you realize I'm being self-destructive in my love area, it's because you don't have it. Okay, maybe you should be working on it this year. Maybe that should be one of your goals, not the business goal. Maybe it should be that. Maybe you should be finding people to love. Now, love does not have to be romantic. People think you can be very happy without having romantic love. Some people want that. Again, you decide. But if you can, your love in your world can be, for some of you, it's going to be unhappy. It cannot be animals. Animal love does not make you happy. It does not. Now, you can have animal love. It's a nice addition to your life. But you also want to have some human love. Just how it works, your cat, your dog is not enough. They can be a buffer zone. Right, they can. Animal love can be a buffer zone, but you need to have human love. So that could be close friends, could be sister, brother, mom, family, could be romantic, doesn't matter, but you do want to have some kind of love, right? Same thing with your business. Are you sabotaging yourself? So I hope that's how you begin to create those destructive habits. They're validation habits. So anyway, let's start changing that. Let's start changing that. There we go. All right, Phil says, I'm multitasking. I have a step goal and writing a book. Good for you. Yes. Books help find stuff. Also true. Yes. I have a book too, which I have not finished yet. So I'm with you on that. We're both doing it. There we go. I love that. Christine says, inner dialogue, people come up with everything that could go wrong and talk themselves out of even starting. Yes. 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 This is why, Christine, exactly correct. This is why I want people who are positive and negative both. And you focus on the first step, because you are right, Christine. The hardest part is starting. The hardest part is starting. That's the hardest part. Kim says, I'm open for ideas like what I can do with $10,000. Well, I think Phil has some plans. So there we go. Yes, there we go. That's how that works. That's good. All right. The AC says a mastermind circle, whatever. You can do that too. I'm not against masterminds. I think some masterminds are very good. The question I have with a mastermind is the same thing. Is it an affirmation mastermind? That's the only difference. I think mastermind groups are fine. Many of them are very successful. All good. Is it affirmation or not? What does that mean? Is the mastermind group holding you accountable, or is it making you feel good? Now, if you just want to feel good, I'm not mad if you want to feel good. People should feel good. If you want to be part of a mastermind group and feel good, that's awesome. But you got to ask yourself that question. I joined a mastermind group. Is the group keeping me accountable, or is the group making me feel good? That's all you need to ask yourself. If you're saying, oh, I love going there, it's fun, and I learn cool things, that's affirmation. If you go, I go there, and they expect things of me, and they ask if I've achieved something, or they want me to do something, or they ask me to help out somewhere, or whatever, I'm doing things. Now you got a good mastermind group. So there is the only difference I would bring there with the AC. I'd have nothing against mastermind groups. Many of them are very good. The question is, are they affirmation or not? So yes. All right. Lunatic says, how do you explain how much knowledge you have without making the party feel belittled? Why do you have to explain how much knowledge you have? Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. That's the reason. That's how you do it. Nobody cares. Give people the value that they want. That's it. That's all. But by the way, guys, I'm smart. Nobody cares. Am I giving people what they value? That's it, why I go back to the same thing. Who cares and why? If you know that question, or those two questions, who cares and why do they care? And you can then go to that person and give them the reasons that they care about, explain why they care about it. You've given them enough knowledge as they need. The rest is irrelevant. All right, what if I'm an expert on whales? I know everything about whales. But the people who care about cars. And they care about cars because they want safe cars. They don't care if I know about whales. Tell them about safe cars. That's it. That's what they want. That's the issue. It doesn't matter. No one cares how smart you are. I don't mean to be mean. Nobody cares. In fact, if you're really smart, the odds of your success go down. I'm not even joking. The odds of your success go down because you're so busy being so smart and you don't communicate well. That's a common problem, people who are very smart. A common problem. Right? The higher your IQ, the odds are your communications suck. How do I know that? A lot of my coaching and training is in emotional communication. People tease me all the time. Larry, emotions don't matter. Facts matter. If you think that, you don't understand humanity. And I know it's a famous thing that Ben Shapiro says. Facts don't care about your feelings. Insanely silly to say something like that. Feelings are so much more powerful than facts. It's by magnitude. It's not even close. Feelings make up facts. Feelings ignore facts. Feelings change facts. Feelings do everything. They might want to say the consequences are unavoidable. That's true. Consequences of facts are unavoidable. But which one's more important? Feelings. And again, by magnitudes, it's not even close. Feelings will whip a fact's ass every day of the week. They will never be the fact, ever. So feelings matter. So your point is valid about making them feel belittled. Just tell them what they want to hear, what they care about. That's all. No worries. And the last thing I'll bring up with that is, just because someone doesn't have the same amount of knowledge you have on a specific subject doesn't mean you don't respect them. If you don't respect them, that comes across. I respect lots of people who don't know what I know on a given subject because they probably know more about another subject that I don't know. Right? So I find somebody who's an expert, again, I made up whales. I'm not expert in whales, but in whales. So I can tell them about how independent politics works. I'm an expert in that. And I can tell most people don't know as much as I know when it comes to independent politics. But then most people probably know more about other things than I know. There's probably a whale expert out there who can make me look stupid if he wants to. I hope he won't do that. I hope he will only tell me things that I care about. That's it. And I can respect him and he can respect me and we're good. So yes. Christine says, before I start anything, I set a financial goal. Figure out how much I need to make on a daily basis to pay the bills and achieve my goals. Let me move to a level 5 on this one, Christine. Generally speaking, you don't want to focus on cash. That's not a 100% rule. Generally speaking, though, it's true. Most people who have become very successful in life and anything like that did not focus on the cash. That's true. Now, once they got cash, they then started thinking about how to spend the cash and such. But their initial piece was not a focus on cash. The focus was on the other things I brought up, which is, are they inspired? What's the promise of loss? What's the fear of what's the promise of gaining the fear of loss in the honor piece, right? What's the inspiration? What's the utopia? That's where they focused first. The money came after. So there are some exceptions, obviously, if you're really if you're in a financial spot where you have to pay your bills, right? Or where you can't go into debt, things like that. You don't want to focus on that. I'm not saying it's not important. Everyone has to pay the bills. I'm just saying, generally speaking, that's an issue. Explain how overconfidence gets in. There is a piece. You're totally right. Hubris, right? I can do anything. There is why you want to have a good circle of people who will humble you. I have been a victim of my own hubris more than once. And it's made me, in the long run, not the short run, but in the long run, a much better person. And the last one I remember is, the last one I bring up, because it was one of the biggest ones, was the 2009 crash. I honestly believe, Kim, I'm smarter than the rest of these people. Well, how long could this last? 6 months? Who cares? No big deal. I could deal with this. Easy day. And a year later, 2010, I'm letting go all my staff. I'm 6 figures in debt, shutting my office down. And as I look back, right, with hindsight, I saw it coming. Like, as I look back, I saw it coming. I didn't want to believe it, Kim. I'm the smartest guy in the room. See? Can't affect me. Well, what I will tell everybody, and I say it all the time, when fate wants to smack you, fate smacks you. Doesn't matter how smart you are, how good you are, how rich you are. When fate wants to smack you, it smacks you. You getting smacked, and you can't do anything about it except react, because you're getting smacked because fate decided to smack you. That's how it works. And fate decided to smack the crap out of me, and it did. And I just got smacked, and I had to recover from that. And I got really smacked hard because fate warned me and said, I'm about to smack you. You could walk away if you want to. And I went, no, I'm cooler than you, fate. I'm the tough guy. And fate showed me how tough fate was and how untough I was. So you are correct. There is a problem with getting overconfidence called hubris. It affects many people who have success. In politics, I call it the fever. I talked about it with what I thought Harris got it last year. She got the fever. Maybe I am a god after all. Yes, I think you're right. And the way you do that is by recognizing that there is a chance of failure, that it's only habits and it's only odds. You can be lucky and have bad habits. You can be unlucky and have good habits. The better your habits, the higher your odds. But if fate wants to smack you, Kim, smacked me more than once, probably smacked you too in your life. Fate smacks whoever it wants to, whenever it wants to. You're just getting smacked. That's how it works. So Dowell says, if you want to see someone working hard, watch a bushcraft video. If you want to see someone working smart, watch it being done with modern power tools. Oh, okay. Being expedient is different. Yes, correct. Yes. Working smart's the key. I'm not against hard work, guys. Please work hard if you want to, particularly if you enjoy it, Just get that, yes. So Phil says, mining minerals from seawater using waste heat from servers. Let's go. We are rocking and rolling, guys. I like that. Who's going to care about that? It's a serious question. Who cares about that? Who would want to mine minerals from seawater? And who would care about using waste heat from servers? That's a nice, long conversation. You probably want to do it here because I'm going to steal your idea. But you probably want to have that conversation. Grab some people who might know. Who would do that? Why would they do that? Is there a certain part of the country that might care more? Is there a certain nation that might care more? Is there a certain company that might care more? And I'll go the opposite. Who cares and why? Also, who cares to stop you? And in today's world, if you're selling a business, who is going to buy you? Because remember, in most cases in the business right now, in most business cases, this is not a good thing, but it's still true. Most small businesses aren't trying to become great small businesses. They're trying to get bought. That's their goal. They don't care to make any money. They just care to get bought. So yes, Lunatic says, cannabis, CBD vending machines, and laundromats. Oh, brilliant. So good. Everybody's sitting there waiting to toke it up while they're waiting in the laundry. Oh, brilliant. Because they might mess up their folding, but yeah, I guess they got over it. That's brilliant. Look at this. Already we're rocking and rolling. Look at this already. There we go. Phil says, I think it would be awesome to be able to finance ideas from friends to help facilitate their project. Yes. Also good. I love all these things. These are great. These are all good ones, guys. This is amazing. I love these. This is really good. So, all right. I do want to go, if I could. I do want to go, if I could, to another piece, if I could do. And this is understanding time management and understanding task management. Number one thing to remember, there is no such thing as time management. Let me say it again. There is no such thing as time management. You cannot manage time. You're not Time Lord. You're not magic. You're not Merlin the wizard. You don't get to manage time. Doesn't work. Not a thing. That's just stuff people say. Again, most of the stuff you hear is just stuff people say. That's not real. It's not a thing. You can't manage time. We all get 24 hours in a day. That's what you get. You don't get nothing else. That's all you get. The key is not time management, activity management. That you can do. You can decide what activities you do and when. If you go, I still have enough time. You have tons of time. What you don't have is a good way of managing your activities. You either have too many activities, option one, or your activities take too long. That's the reality. You either have too many activities or activities take too long. So what are you going to do? Either cull your activities or make them go faster. One of the two. That's it. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what we do. Now I'm going to tell you how in a second, but that's it. That is your issue. Now, many people will use something like a list as an example. Here's my to-do list. Generally speaking, that is not a good way of doing it. Why? A to-do list doesn't tell you how much time things take. A to-do list doesn't give you a deadline on the thing. And a to-do list also doesn't prioritize, right? Those are the issues. You want to start prioritizing. You want to start culling, removing, and putting things in. Generally speaking, you want to use some type of electronic calendar if you can, or a large paper calendar, like the big book or something like that. Something where you can write things down or type them in, where you can see it in the time slots in your week. I'm not joking. If you're making lists, the odds are you are failing. If you're making lists, the odds are you are failing. So I don't want you making lists. I want you putting them somehow in your calendar, either written, if you prefer to write, I don't care, or use Google Calendar, whatever. I don't care what you use, but a place you can look at it and go, here is my week. Why? When your week fills up, you're done. There are no more tasks. You're done. There's no more tasks. But I got to do this thing. Then you must get rid of something. It becomes obvious. If you don't have that picture there of your week, you will just keep adding things onto your list. At one point, your list will become so big, you will feel overwhelmed. Not just that, having a list, what it does, it makes you want to scratch things off the list. So you'll just do the simple things. You will do the simple things to scratch them off your list and never get to the most important things. That's the reason. Why? Because you want to scratch things off. I feel like I've done something. And all of us have had this. You work the whole day and you got nothing done. Why? Because you got nothing done of value. Because you put it on a list and you scratched off the easy stuff. You got to knock it out. Felt like you were doing something. And then I think it goes to the next day and the next day and the next day. Before you know it, it's 6 weeks. Why are you still doing it? You ain't going to do it anymore. Stop. Stop. Doesn't make any sense. So first thing to understand is stop having lists. Instead, put it either on a book or in a calendar so you can look at it and understand the damn thing. So we can go, okay, I'm overwhelmed, clearly. So what am I going to stop? What am I going to stop? The other thing you do is you start noticing, when is this thing going to your calendar? And how many times have I moved it week to week to week? If you've moved something more than 3 times, just end it. It's not a thing. But my boss wants it. No, he doesn't, or she doesn't, or she would have told you, get rid of it. My kids in it. No, they don't. You haven't done it in a week. I'm in a month. They don't. Get rid of it. It'll come back. If it's important, someone will remind you. Someone will say, what about that thing you said? Then do it then. Now you know it's real. That becomes a priority. If not, get rid of it. Get rid of it. There's an old thing which I do use, which is an old thing, but actually, a lot of the old stuff I don't use. As you know, I think it's just talk. But there are some things that aren't. And one of them was something I think originally done by Stephen Covey about 30, 40 years ago. It was the idea of the urgent versus the important. This is a great concept from like 30, 40 years ago. I gave full credit to Stephen Covey. I'm pretty sure he's the one who did it. I use it all the time, but I always give him credit. And he passed away, by the way. But in any case, he's the one who started it. The concept is looking at your tasks and deciding, are they urgent or important or both? What's the difference? Urgent means it is time sensitive. Important means there is impact. Two separate things. What you're doing. So in a case of, say, your own personal life, right? You want to go to the gym more. Is that urgent? Yeah. The sooner you go, the better. It's urgent. It's time sensitive. Got to go. Yeah. Is it important? Yeah. You want to get in shape. It's both. Okay. Makes total sense. Got it. Okay. Good. I want to move, and I want to move by next year. Is it important? Yeah, it's a move. Huge. Is it urgent? No, it's next year. So it's important, but not urgent. You see the difference in those two? Right? My friend wants to go to lunch today. Today he wants to go. Today. Wow, it's urgent. Okay. Is it important? No, it's my friend. I can see him any day I want. No, not important. Does that make sense? They're different. Urgent versus important. Look at your tasks that you have and decide which one are they. Are they urgent? Are they important? Are they both? Are they neither? And if they're neither, why are you doing them? I would argue if they're just urgent, why are you doing them? They're just urgent. The phone ringing is urgent. Is it important? I don't know. Why are you answering your phone? It's a serious question. Now, here's the problem. We can very easily be taken by what's called the tyranny of the urgent, which means always doing things as urgent. Why? Because it feels good, because we're taking care of things. The phone rang, an email came in. Let me knock this out real fast. I'm doing stuff, but nothing of value. What you must focus on is the important. That's the critical piece. What's important? Everything else, push off, give to others, let it go, whatever the case may be. But Larry, people will be mad at me. So what? So what? You get over it. Let me grab a couple more of these if I could real fast before I keep going. I have a couple more I want to grab, but I just thought that was an interesting piece I wanted to bring up for you guys. So, yes. All righty. You guys have so many of these. I'm not gonna be able to get to all of them. I will try my best to do this. Let's see here. Let's see. Lorenzo says, what I picked up on what he's saying is humans are emotional. Yes. Facts don't care about feelings. What's even better is using someone's emotions to help be more open-minded to fact. Yes. Even better. Even better. Emotions matter for everything. 100%. Andrea says, people live their lives with just feelings all the time. We get mad because of facts. Said no one ever. Andrea, yes. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. So Nicholas says, lol, do things, pandering to things, supposing facts. Every day of the week, Nicholas. Every hour of every day. Yes, that is exactly true. You see it. I literally just said so. If you look at most people who are coaches, trainers, therapists, it's all affirmation. It's making you feel good, fixing nothing, ignoring facts, and they make a ton of money. I can make a lot more money if I did that. Yes, I'm not doing that, but I should if I just make cash. Yes, feelings is what makes the most money. Feelings is what moves the most people. Feelings is far more important than facts. Feelings absolutely supersede facts. Not even close. If you don't believe that, you don't understand humanity. And that's okay. You don't have to. You're not required to understand humanity. No one is. It's just true. It's 100% true. So yes. Grace says, people who say facts don't care about feelings tend to lose elections. Also true. Yes. Also true. Yep. Pickup says, don't worry, don't answer my phone. Ryan says, I always screen my call. Yes, absolutely. Julie says, good show. Oh, I appreciate that. Yes. I appreciate that. Yes. The lunatic says the vending machines I'm talking about have driver's license age verification capability. I think it's a brilliant idea. Lorenzo says, speaking to-do list, I started adopting the calendar late November. It's outstanding how much work get done. Yes, I'm reaching the realization that I'm doing too many tasks in a given day, or I'm finding out way too done fast. Thank you, Lorenzo. This is exactly my point. I've been teaching this to business owners and to executives for 15 years. You have to go to to-do list. You have to go to some form of calendar. You will watch yourself become so much more productive, almost immediately. You will see a difference in how it works. You will definitely see a difference in how it works, 100%. So yes, I'm glad you said that. That is great. So AC says, I saw it coming too. Yeah, but I didn't do anything about it, AC. Did you? I just sat back and thought I was smartest guy in the world. I was wrong, but that's what I thought. I was like, yes, I got it all done. So yeah, anyway. All righty. Carl says, do you absolutely need work experience, university degrees to sell knowledge or courses to a niche? Let me be very clear about something. If your goal is to work for a large corporation and or a large establishment and or government, university degrees are critically important and valuable. Very valuable, very important. Without question, if you are looking at working for a big organization, a big establishment, government, academia, something like that, very important. Go get your degree, go get your master's, all good, 100%. If you are not looking at that, you don't require any of those. Not required. So it depends on what you want to achieve. If you're saying, I just want to sell courses. No, you can sell courses. Lots of people sell courses and have no education whatsoever. It doesn't matter. This goes back to what lunatic, I was talking about with lunatic, right? You want to be able to talk about, what they care about. If no one asked me my degree, no one asked my degree. No one does. I've been a business coach and trainer for 21 years now, right? Long time. I've been an officer in a public company. I've run for governor twice. I've been a political consultant. I do have a college degree. People don't ask. I do. It's in anthropology. Doesn't matter. I've taught at the graduate level at Yale and Columbia. No, you can sell knowledge into a niche. Now I'm going to go do what niche real fast you mentioned. Generally speaking, and this is if you want to do a small business. Now you might not want to do that. You might just want to get a job or change or have different lifestyle. But if you're specifically about a small business, if that's your goal, anyone listening to this, small business, you must niche or you will die. You have no chance of success. None. Zero. If you don't niche. Then they go, but Larry, my product or my service might be. Luna's just talked about his cannabis vending machines, but he went laundromats. That's the niche. Could you put a cannabis machine any place? Of course you could. You could put it in theory any place, but he's niching it. Niching is how it will grow. You begin any small business with a specific niche, even if it can go someplace else. It will expand and explode someplace else if you make it work in a niche first. Why also? Because that's how you get investors. If Lunatic says, I'm going to put my cannabis machines in the entire world, no one's going to give him a dime. Or they're going to steal his idea. No one's going to give him a dime. I'm just being fair. He's going to get money. If he goes, no, it's going to go here. Oh, here? Huh. Oh, I didn't think about that. He said laundromats. I loved it. Immediately. There'll be investors who will love it too. It's a niche. Now, they're going to go, hey, once we're done, can't we put it in a whatever, right? Can't we put it in this or put it there or put it here? Of course. That'll be the next step. But let's get some customers, get some eyeballs, make some cash, and then put it someplace else, wherever's the right spot. I don't know what else to do, but I think it's great. I'm sure we can go tons of places, but we start there. Then it's going to be the bus station or whatever. I don't know. Is that the right spot for it? Anyway, but you'll figure it out. He will learn the kind of people who use the product in the laundromat. And from that, he'll know, okay, it will also go here or go there. So niche is critical. And you do not have to have any specific training whatsoever. Give people value and they will listen. That's it. I say it again, give people value and listen. Luna says, Larry, I'm talking about in an interview. Explain details of the knowledge base you bring. Most people can't handle it. No, you don't do that either. No. All right. This is a little bit off topic, but I'll bring it on because it's for next year. Any of you guys looking forward to get a job? If you're looking to get a new job, 3 parts to getting a job. 3 parts. Networking, resume, interview. Those are your 3 parts, right? If you worry about. Critical aspect of networking. If you want to get into a new field, like you don't want to stay in this field anymore, one of your goals of this year is to leave field A and move to field B. The first thing you must start doing is just physically going to all the trade associations you can in the new field. Do not bring your resume. Do not look for a job at all. Just go there, meet people, and learn the language. Every new field has its own language. Go there, learn the language, watch the things, know what's happening and what's going on. Have a business card, either your current business you're working for, or have a generic one, doesn't matter. Have it. If it's tech field, you got to have it on your phone. If it's not tech, if the field you're going to is more of a legacy field, they'll still have cards. Like law still has cards. Finance still has cards. So if it's more of a legacy field you're going into, they will have business cards. More tech, they may not, but you decide where you're going. That's your networking piece. You're meeting people with only one goal, to have a sit down, not an interview. Just, hey, can we have lunch? We'll talk about some stuff. That's it. Can we have coffee? Can we have a phone call? Whatever. That's your only goal. Looking to change your field is a multiple month process, right? At least 3 to 6 months, at least, to change your field. If you're changing your field, that is, right? So at least 3 to 6 months. If you can still work in your old field, that's a benefit if you can. Sometimes you can't, but if you can, that's a benefit. So work in your old field while you're making that shift to the new field. Have those conversations, meet some people, you'll talk like them. Now, how do you explain your knowledge base? You don't. All you do is talk about successes you've had. That's it. That's it. So, sake of argument, you're a tech guy, right? And you want to move from, say, you were in software for the financial field. You're tired of that, and you want to go into gaming. 2 separate fields of software, right? Separate fields. You don't like finance. You want to go into gaming. Good for you. Wonderful. So start going to the gaming ones, right? Learn. Have a sit down. I'm going to go, so what do you know about whatever? Don't go, I know about blah, blah. Go, I had a success story. We had a problem with this one part, and it's your one from finance, right? Tell the story. Yeah, we had a problem with this from finance. We couldn't get this to happen. Man, was it a problem? We did this, that, and this happened. That's what you do. That's it. If they want to know more, they'll ask. And they'll ask you until they go, oh, really? Well, how'd you handle this? Oh, well, for that, I did this. Oh, how'd you handle that? Well, for this, I did that. Now you're only giving them what they ask. If they don't ask, shut up. They don't care. That's how you know. Tell a success story. That's it. And if they care about something, they'll ask. The best part, lunatic, is they'll ask about what they care about. So you might think they care about all these things. They don't. They care about this thing. Tell them about this thing. That's how you explain. You're saying details. They may not want details. If they don't want details, shut up and take the job. If they want details, they will ask. I know I hire and fire. If I care about details, I will ask you. So what you're doing is you're not just spewing. You're just telling a success story. Success story should be 3 sentences long. 3 sentences. The problem that existed, what you did, the outcome. That's it. We had a problem with this, that, and the other thing, sentence 1. So what I decided to do was so-and-so, sentence 2. And the outcome was this, sentence 3. That's all you say, nothing else. Shut up. Just say those 3 things. The person then will say, what about? And then you let them lead you down that road. That is how you deal with that conversation. Hope that was clear. You don't want to just blather on stuff you know. If they don't care, don't tell them. Your job in a networking event is to be able to submit your resume. That's it. Yeah, send your resume to so-and-so. Send me your resume. That's all you want to do. That's your only mission. If you didn't do that, you failed. If you did that, you succeeded. The resume has one job and one job only. People tell you all the time, the resume coach will tell you, well, the job is to show who you are as a well-rounded. That's all bullshit. That's just stuff people say. Remember, most of those coaches suck also. Remember, why am I not really a coach anymore? Because most of the people in my field suck. Most of them are just terrible. It's just a fact. I wish they weren't, right? But they are. Most of them just suck. So they tell you it's whatever. It's all garbage. The resume has one job: to get you an interview. That's it. Nothing else. If it didn't do that, it failed. If it did that, you won. The interview is where you get the job. An interview is not about you talking. The more they talk, the more you win. Let me say it again. I know I hire and fire. It's part of what I do. I get paid very well to hire executives. One of the jobs I do, you're an executive, I will interview him. I will bring an executive in. So I do this for a living. I'm the guy you might want to talk to. Like I'm telling you, the more they're talking, the more you're winning. The more you're talking, the more you're losing. I hear all the time people go, oh, I had a great interview. You did? Yeah, answer all the questions. He was listening to everything I was saying. I said, you didn't get a job. What? No, I did. I answered all the questions. It doesn't matter. In fact, if they keep asking questions, you lost. And he's like, I didn't get the job. I know. That's not how that works. That's just shit people say. Anyway, I hope I gave you the answer at least. I hope I did, you know. Went a little long, I know. Yes. There we go. All righty. I set goals and accomplished them. I still feel empty inside. The question I would ask you then for the goals are, did you do the first piece? Lunatic? Did you do the who cares and why? Did you do the promise of gain, fear of loss, honor? Did you tell others? No, I didn't just say set goals and accomplish them. That's what I said. I said first part, second part, third part. Did you do all three? If you did, there may be other issues, but the odds are you didn't. The odds are you didn't. So, yes. All righty. See if I can grab some more of these. I hope I gave you a bunch of those. Lorenzo says, working on being more optimistic this year and not being a perfectionist. I do realize around October that anxiety and perfectionism is a recipe for chronic burnout. It is. You are correct. You are correct. Yes. But you become more optimistic, generally speaking, by having success and knowing you can handle it. Right? Most of those. Most. So keep that in mind. So Andrea says, I'm having a pity party, but to be fair, it's because I have a bad cold and couldn't do anything for New Year's. Give me a week, I'll be back to normal. That's okay. Week's fine. That is how we treat a failure. Yes, you are 100% correct, Andrea. That's how you deal with it. Yeah, we all have problems. We all fall down. We all make mistakes. We all fail. It's the world. It's what we do. The question is, I want to go back to Lorenzo about the perfectionist piece. A lot of us are perfectionists. I'm not, but a lot of us are. And many of us are perfectionists because our parents were very critical to us. That's a common problem. Didn't do it good enough, wasn't good enough, wasn't good enough. Here's things to remember. The best leaders know that things don't have to be perfect. They have to be good enough. And that may sound like, well, that's kind of skimping. It isn't. Think of basic customer service. Basic customer service. I do customer service training also. What I'm going to tell people is customer service, the customers don't care how hard you work. But no, we got to show them we work hard. No, you don't. They don't care. Customers do not care how hard you work. What customers care about is, did you match their expectation or exceed it? That's it. So if I expect Lorenzo to smack me across my face, and he does, I'm satisfied. If I thought he was gonna and he didn't, I might be unhappy. Why didn't he smack me? I thought he was gonna smack me across the face. You go, he wouldn't be smacked. That's what I expected. If you match what my expectations or exceed it, I'm happy. If you're not, it doesn't matter if you work hard. Well, Lorenzo went crazy reading a book. I don't care. I wanted X. He didn't give me X or X plus 1. That's it. So don't worry about being a perfectionist. Worry about whoever your customer is. This goes back to who cares and why. You should be asking that question often. Who cares and why? Did you give them what they expected or more? That's it. Is my show perfect? I mean, of course, my show's perfect. I mean, it's not. My show's not perfect, but I go out of my way to give you what you expect or more. Many of you ask me for a show on how to think big, and I do this stuff. So I'm giving it to you. I'm hoping to give you more than that because you asked for it. That's the reason why. Is it perfect? Of course it isn't perfect. Is it going to match your expectation or go higher? I hope it will. in which case it's good enough. If it doesn't, I have failed. So perfection is actually useless when it comes to making people happy. When it comes to making people happy, unless their expectation is perfection, then it must be. What matters is, did you match their expectation or exceed it? That's it. Did you do those two things? You are good. That's what actually matters. So yes. Alrighty. Carl says, what do you do if you need several skills for attaining your goal, changing your career? Again, you just slowly start doing it. Move into the field, right? You also got to realize the field you're moving into, you may not have to physically be a worker in that field. And I'll give you an example. Let's say, I'm going to use the same example. You are a tech guy in finance. You want to go into gaming. You don't have to be a tech guy in gaming. You could. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to be a customer service rep. Maybe you want to be a sales rep. Maybe you want to be a manager. I don't know. You can change fields without having to start at the bottom. Depends upon what you're doing, right? So don't assume that you have to start at the bottom. You don't have to. You can. You don't have to. So consider that piece. Also understand that if you're changing careers, you can just get experience at the lower levels, get you enough to get to the next level of skill set, right? Again, in my idea of moving from finance to gaming, you probably have some basic knowledge. I mean, I don't know. I'm ignorant to this part. I'm not a tech guy, but I'm sure there are a lot of similarities in tech in both. There's also nuance and special. Of course, there's nuance, but there's probably some basic stuff you'd already know from both sides. Okay, so that part you got. Now it's the nuance. All those things. So yeah, I would think about that. If you need several skills, okay, let's figure it out. What do I do? Is this something where can I do it on a job? Can I do it for free? And make a lie and do it for free? You might want to. I know people get upset about that. Here's why you might want to consider doing stuff for free. Generally speaking, if you know you can't make the next step without an expensive college or an expensive tech school, but you work for a company and get the same equivalent for free labor sometimes is a better bet than going to debt. It depends on your situation, obviously, right? Your situation will decide. Are you in a spot where you cannot work for a couple of months? Some people are, some people aren't, right? If you are, okay, do that. If you can't, maybe not. So yes. Lunatic says, most wing it. Cheyenne says, that's me just winging it. Ryan, I used to wing it. Look, that's not sort of a bad thing, right? There's two parts to this. One part is once you start getting successful and feeling good about things, you can wing it more because you become good at it. You become natural at it, right? All my shows are live, which means I'm by default winging it. You don't see me with a bunch of notes and such, right? So I'm often by default winging it. But I wing it so much that now it's natural for me. In fact, my show is all one winging show, right? I mean, I think about the ideas. I research some things before I start, but it's all just me live talking directly to you. And I have is me taking your questions. How can I know your questions in advance, right? So a lot of it is just that. It's when you do it so much. So the more experience you have, the more you can wing. I agree completely. Not just that, you should feel comfortable and confident enough that you can probably do it. And that comes from just doing it more. There's value to experience. There's value to it. It isn't the be all end all, but there's value to experience. So I hope that was good. All right, let me grab a couple more of these if I can. All righty. Let me grab some of these. Phil says school destroys some real world school. I'm not sure what they're. Oh, skills. Yes, it can. Absolutely. Yes, it can. Yes. Jordan says, Happy New Year's, Larry. You survived the new year. Wahoo, wahoo. Sharp Spike 2020. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes. All right. Let me grab a couple of these. Monkey See Monkey Do says, maybe what Nicholas was getting at is that whether feeling is more important than fact is contextual, like with gravity. It just is nothing about feeling changes its effect. When it comes to moving people, yes, feeling, facts use it. Well, that's where I go with consequences. People ignore gravity every day. People jump out of buildings, fall out of things all the time. I mean, people made planes trying to fight gravity, right? So they can ignore gravity, but you can't ignore the consequences of it. And that's my issue. There's a difference, right? The fact still is a thing, but the consequences are still there. You're right, but they can just ignore it because they feel better. So yeah, absolutely. All righty. Let's see if I can grab here. Carl says Tony Robbins sucks. Tony Robbins is a lot of affirmation. That's true. But unless you join like his special clubs, then that is one of the ways that Tony Robbins is able to monetize his very well. He has special clubs when he's not that, but he's very much affirmation to you join the special clubs and spend six figures to become part of his little circle. Then you get real stuff. So yes, there we go. Pickerbell says autistic nightmare 1, 2, and 3. Job hunting is the worst. It is tough. Picky says yes, it does. It says yes, it's tough. 100%. I agree. It's not easy. It's not easy, which is why you will never hear me say when people want to get a job, you never hear me say, go on Indeed and send out 500 resumes. That is soul crushing. Most of the people don't want to talk to you anyway. You get heavy amounts of rejection. Most of it goes to a machine, doesn't even look at anything. Now, note what I said, networking first. I always want to network my way in to any job. I never want to just apply. I always want to network my way in. So if I know somebody, if I have, this is why, if you want to get a job, I'll walk down job real fast if you want to get a job. The number one thing when you want to get a job is to figure out what job you want. I'm not joking. Well, they're hiring. Terrible idea. That is the wrong reason to do it. That's folding back to terrible idea. You want to think about what kind of job you want. Now, I'm gonna be very clear. Unless you just got to pay bills, and I understand some people, you just got to pay bills, take what job you can get, I understand. But assuming you're not in a spot where, Larry, you understand I'm broke, I got to pay bills. If you're not, then you either already have a job, so you are paying some bills, you have someone in your life who's helping you, whether it's a spouse or someone else, family member who's helping you, that's awesome if you have that. Oh, good. Assuming you're not in a spot where I got to pay bills. If you're not there, you should be thinking, what kind of job do I want? And there's a whole process I go through. I'm not going to do it now, but if you want to, I will go through it if you want to. Not today, but maybe another show. I'll go through how to get a job. You figure out what you want to do. There's a whole process for that, obviously. Once you figure this out, you then start looking for specific companies that you want. Why? Because when you send a resume, you will send a cover letter. If they don't want a cover letter, send one anyway, because you're not going to get an interview unless you have a cover letter. Your cover letter has to have 3 paragraphs. Not 1, not 2, but 3 paragraphs. Paragraph 1 is an emotional reason why you want the job. Not a logical reason, an emotional reason why you want the job. That's what you want, first step. I always wanted to work for so-and-so because I felt good because blah, blah, blah. Or I saw this on TV, or my dad worked there, or my mom always told, I don't care, whatever it is. Or I went through a process with my coach and my coach realized this was my passion. Whatever, I don't care. An emotional reason. Why? If they're not reading cover letters, you're not getting the job. You're not. If they're reading cover letters, what's the goal of the cover letter? All right, what do you think? The goal of the cover letter is to get them to want to read your resume in the most positive light. That's the goal of a cover letter. If they didn't do that, it failed. So the cover letter should be, the hiring manager, whoever that person is, doesn't care if you need a job. They don't care. Let me say it again. They don't care if you need a job. Does not matter at all. They want you to want this job. That's how they see it. So again, what do they want? Give them what they want. They want you to want this job, not to need a job. So give them an emotional reason in the cover letter why you want that job. And they go, oh, this person actually wants this job. Huh. They will now read your resume in a much more positive light, which will give you the opportunity to get an actual phone call interview. That's why you want to do that when it comes looking for a job. Emotional reason up front. Last paragraph is what they're going to get. What's the benefit they get by hiring you? That's it right there. So, yes. Liberty Lady says over there on Rumble, by the way, if you want to, I am on Rumble also. She says, I've been working for free for 3 months for 2 podcasters offering my services for live stream moderation, calendar management, quality control, social media management, Liberty Dad and Mark K. My niche is I want to work with live stream podcasters. I can also niche my services with the real estate world as I hire virtual assistants. I'm connected with local real estate investors. There we go. Look at that. She's already doing it. If you can work for free, if you're in that spot, again, I know some people are not. If you're in that spot, it can be very helpful because now you have a resume builder, right? You have a resume building. You have a resume built in that area, and you have to pay for a credential. So yes, hope that was clear. All right. Lunatic says, I need a business plan, working capital, and target market for vending machine / laundry mat. All right, let me give you a general rule on business plans. All right, general rule on business plan. Business plan should start 3 pages. That's it, nothing more. Do a 3-pager, nothing more. You're going to give yourself a list of 15 questions that have to be answered. 15, no more than that, less maybe. Answer those questions in 3 pages. That's your business plan. Create a PowerPoint presentation that matches the business plan. That can be maybe 10, 15 pages total. PowerPoint, called your deck. That's what's called your deck. Business plan is 3 pages, then your deck. Your deck will be some details, pictures, whatever you want, target market, all that kind of good stuff, whatever you need. Have projections in it. What do you believe is going to be the projection? Whether those projections are eyeballs, those projections are dollars, projections are pounds of weed sold, whatever it is, projections, what you think. Go out 3 years, no more than 3 years. Have a plan to either be sold or to be profitable. Either one, you pick what is going to work for you. So you're going to get bought, you're going to be sold. In that PowerPoint presentation, show other examples of companies that did what you want to do. What I mean by that is companies that became successful, profitable, or that got sold. Either one. Have examples in your PowerPoint. Here's 2 other companies that were also sold. 2 other companies that also were profitable within 3 years. That is your shot in 3 years. Once you have that, ship it out to somebody you know, whoever that person is, who's friendly to you, and have them look at it and let them tear it apart. Because whatever you put together is not good enough. It's not. Don't spend time being, to Lorenzo's point. Don't try to be perfect, Lunatic. You're not going to be. It's going to suck. I'm telling you, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. Why? Because you're too close to it. You will not do it well because you're too close to it. Give it to somebody else. Have them look at it. Have them go, dude, what's this? Dude, what's that? I don't understand this. I don't understand that. Have them go through it. 3 pages will become 5 or 10. It's fine. PowerPoint should stay around 15. 2 or 3 times through, you have a good business plan. You have a good PowerPoint. It'll take a month, maybe 30 days, give or take, as long as someone's doing the work. That's how you do it. Don't go crazy. Do what I just said. 3-page business plan, 10 slide PowerPoint deck. Best of your ability, have projections, examples of other people done what you want that you're doing. Give it to a friend. Have them look at it. I don't get it. I get this, whatever. And then edit it 3 or 4 times. You'll be fine. Hope that's helpful. Don't go crazy. All right. The number one thing again for this is the same thing. The goal of a business plan is not to get funded. I know it sounds crazy. It's not. It's not to get funded. That's not the goal of the business plan. The goal of the business plan is to get someone to care about you enough to ask questions so they can fund you. You're going to get funded through an interview also, right? They're going to fund you through an interview, not through a business plan. So the business plan's goal is to get someone to talk to you so they can decide to fund you. And then also you decide, how do you want to structure it, right? Are you structuring this in a way to where they're investing? Is it part of it a loan? Is it, are they getting paid back? If so, when? Do they get paid back when you get bought? Do they get paid back when you make money? Do they get paid no matter what because it's a loan? How does that work? And again, that's in a conversation, hopefully with someone who knows this, you've done this before, have a conversation with that's going to work. Do you mix it, right? Do you get one guy who's going to give you cash and get half your company, and one guy who's going to structure this as a loan and get paid no matter what? That's fine. Generally speaking, if you think your company is going to, be big and huge, loans are the best because you pay it back. You still own your company. If you don't care, you're going to sell the company, give them a cut. Who cares? You're going to drop it for a whole bunch of money. You make 7 figures. Who cares? I hope that was clear. So anyway, I went a bit long, but I hope that was clear for you guys. All righty. It goes on to say, Libertarians on Larry Sharpe Show start business from grassroots efforts, selling cannabis both as CBD and in those states, the cannabis is legal states, while people wash their clothes. Love the idea. Yes. Ryan says, I hate PowerPoints. They're evil. Yes, but required. Yes, but required. Larry's the libertarian coaching guru. Thank you. He goes on to say, thank you for taking the time to give us his free tips. You guys asked for a show on this, so I figured I would give it to you because you asked. So yes, Grace says, I've been offered really good jobs through volunteering. Yes, you mean a lot of movers and shakers that way. 100%. Yes, volunteering is powerful. People who are so short-sighted and go, I don't work for free. You're going to watch, not going to be successful. They talk a lot of trash. I do a lot of stuff for free. A lot of stuff for free. All the time. Yes. All the time. So anyway, that was good. Carl says, I'm going to rewatch this episode again and remember all Larry's tips. I do appreciate that. Yes. All right. Phil says, that's a great point. I was looking for jobs like I was doing sales and using a certain amount of volume couple trying to target cover letter. It's discouraging to send a lot of resumes. Yes, you don't want shotgun style, right? I don't want you sending out 500 resumes. I'm sending out 5, not 500, 5. 5 very targeted to specific people. And if at all possible, use whatever you can. Facebook, LinkedIn, networking events, people you know. Do you know these people? Do you know who the person is? I had a guy today call me saying, hey, you know this person, can you put a good word? I said, I don't want to put a good word, but use my name. I've done it before, right? And so I'm going to say this what I want from me, and I may not be able to respond to all of you if you want this, but a lot of people ask me to use my name. Happens the whole time. I've gotten more than one person into a doctorate degree or master's degree program because I write the reference letter. And they might say, well, are you that important? No, but I know what they want to hear. So I write it so that they get it. To my point, I ask the question, who cares and why? It's what I do. I write a reference letter that is exactly what they want to hear. So that's how I get people into master's degree programs and doctorate programs, because I write what they want to hear. I know what they want to hear. So when you start doing that, same idea. What do they want to hear? What's the perfect person care about? That's the piece, right? That's the piece. So anyway, yes, I hope that part was clear. I want to keep going if I could. All right, Grace says, how do you combat ageism, Larry? All right, I'm going to go, let me deal with this now, go to the next piece. This, to be very forward with all of you, is one of the worst problems we have in America to this day. I know it's going to sound crazy. Larry, you're an ist. No, I'm not an ist, but the country is, Grace. You are right. And if you've done things the right way, you are in trouble. What I mean by that, let's say you were loyal in a job for 20 years. You started when you were 22, and now you're 42 or 44, and you get fired, you get let go. You're in trouble. You have the worst possible resume. The worst possible. Worse, if you tell me you were 25 and now you're 50. If you are 50 and you had one job, you will probably never have a full-time job again in your life. That you'll be proud of. I don't mean to be mean. I'm just being very forward. You probably won't. That is how bad it is in today's world. Ageism, Grace, is real. It is. It's real. Now, if you have a good resume, that's not true. Right? And a good resume in today's world is, and it's going to sound crazy, a good resume in today's world is 3 to 5 years at one company, quit. 3 to 5 years at one company, quit. 3 to 5 years at one company, quit. That's amazing. And no gaps. No gaps in employment, 3 to 5 years in each, and you look for a job while you have a job. I know what I said is crazy. I know. I'm telling you what the field wants to see. It wants to see 3 to 5 years, quit, 3 to 5 years, quit, 3 to 5 years, quit, 3 to 5 years, quit. That's what it wants to see. That's what it wants to see. So how do you combat that? The same way I do. Don't have a resume. Network your way into everything. That's how you get around it. You network your way into it, because then all the stereotypes are broken. No one decides, oh, I can't hire Grace. She's too old because this, that. They don't say those words, but they do. The best way around it is to just network in. Don't worry about Grace. I know her. Oh, you know her? Yeah, she's fine. Oh, I didn't know you knew her, Larry. Yeah, I know Grace. Oh, okay, we'll bring her on. That's how you get around it. It's through networking. Yes. AC says getting promoted is good too. Yes, let me add that. Best part, 3 to 5 years with a promotion, 3 to 5 years promotion. You're right. That's perfect. And no gaps. If you have a 2 to 3 year gap, and you are still of childbearing age as a woman, they will hold that against you. Against the law and wrong, and they'll do it. I'm just letting you know. It's against the law and wrong, and they will do it. Because, she'll just get pregnant again, lose for 2 years. Yes, they will do it. Yes, even though it's against the law, they'll do it anyway. Now, other thing is, if you have a gap and you're a male and there's no experience and there's no reason for that, they'll hold that against you too. They'll assume you're in jail. I'm not joking. They'll assume you were in jail, a failed business, doing something illegal, an addict. They'll make all terrible assumptions, which is why I'm saying don't just put your resume out there, because they will make all the terrible assumptions. And you're going, but Larry, it's against the law. It doesn't matter. You think they care about that? They don't. They don't. Now, the exception is government. When government hires, government looks for reasons to hire you. Government's trying to fill quotas. They're looking for a reason to hire. Private sector is looking for reasons to not hire. Totally separate. So yes, that's an issue to consider. So you have your point, Grace, is it's a valid issue. How do you get around that if you don't have that? If you have a great resume, like AC's talking about, right? That's perfect. Then don't worry about it. You'll be fine. If you actually have the 3 to 5 years and they're going to go, oh, okay, she's good. She doesn't follow the stereotype. She's fine. You can get around it. If you don't have that kind of resume, you have to network your way in. That's how you get around it. Networking is the answer. I hope that was clear. All right. I talked about the idea of putting up your schedule. I want to add something else to your schedule too to stop you from getting burnout. I want you to put in your calendar your buffer zone or your recharge time. I want you to put that in your calendar. I'm not joking. Larry, I got 45 things I gotta get done. I don't have time for this. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you want to, whatever your recharge is your recharge going to the gym? Is your recharge reading a book? Is your recharge taking a nap? I don't know. You need to know. And here's how you know what your recharge is. Your recharge is when you're done doing it, you're ready to go to work. That's how you know it's recharge. If you're done doing it, you want to go to sleep, that's not recharge, right? The thing you do, some people like to walk, some people like to watch TV. I like to learn. That's my thing, right? So for me, reading a book, watching an educational video, that's my recharge, right? I like that. I also like being on a treadmill. I like walking on a treadmill. I enjoy treadmill walking, usually while I'm watching an educational video. That's what I usually do, walk on a treadmill, watch an educational video, or I'll read or something. That's what I like. So to do that, I schedule it. Literally, it's in my calendar. I do it every day, usually around 11 a.m. Usually around 11 a.m. That's what I do. That's my recharge time. So you should create it too. Put it in your calendar. If you don't, what you want to do is not recharging. And here's what will happen. You won't recharge, and eventually you'll rebel. And you'll rebel one of two ways. You'll physically get sick because you worked yourself so much and you don't recharge. Or two, you will mentally rebel. And what does that mean? You will binge. So let's say you're someone who, when you recharge, you like to, watch dumb movies. You'll sit around and watch like 7 hours of binge movies and not work and get anything done. That's your rebellion. Or you'll lay around and sleep, or you'll play on the phone, or you'll be on TikTok or whatever. You do something like that. So Carl says recharge once a week as much as you want to. You have to learn yourself. Carl, you got to figure out what you need. I try to do mine daily. I can't always, to be forward. I can't always, but I schedule it. Sometimes I miss it, right? Particularly hardest for me actually is Tuesdays. I have my radio show at 1. So being able to get the work that I want to get in the morning, get stuff done, and then still do my recharge and still do my show is challenging. So I often miss Tuesdays. I often do, but I try. I schedule and try to do Tuesdays whenever I can. So I do. So yes, you want to try that to the best of your ability. So yes. Colleen says, it's great advice. How do you nourish your soul, brain, and heart? Yes. You want to add that in. If you don't, you will get sick. You will rebel. That's how it works. That's how it works. So you must do that also. Also do that. One more last thing I'll tell you, and that is, once you have your entire weekly or monthly schedule put out, look at that thing, everything you do, and create like an org chart of all the things you do every day, whether that's working with your kids, your mom or dad, your spouse, your significant other, yourself, friends, all of that, work stuff you do, friends, all of it. Look at that and start looking at it from this mindset. All right, of all these things I do, which ones have the most value, the most impact? And impact, again, you decide what impact means. You decide what impact means. This is your decision. Impact for your kids may be more important than business, or reverse. You decide. What is the most impact? And rate it somehow. 1 through 10, 1 through 5, whatever. You decide a rating system. 1 through 5. This is a 5. This is a 1. This is, And then how much time am I spending on each one? Am I spending more time or less time on this? When you start figuring that out, you'll start seeing what you should be making more time for. Are you spending lots of time on stuff that has no real impact? Are you spending lots of time on things that has impact? In the perfect world, you're spending the vast majority of your time with things that have the most impact. That's the hope. but you may not be. Doing that, you look at it, you'll see. This will start making your days easier. You'll be able to handle more things, get more stuff done, be more productive. This will not be perfect off the bat at all. In fact, it'll be all messed up. It will be. And you'll fail. You will. But the more you do it, the better. The longer you do it, the better. The more you're thinking about it, the better. You want your mind to be on how efficient am I being? How smart am I working? Not how hard am I working? You're going to hear people tell you all the time, these people who are making lots of money, they work really hard. No, they don't. I'm not making that up. They don't. They don't work very hard. I'm not trying to be mean. They don't. How can they work so hard when they have time to be on TV every day? They have time to go on vacations all the time. They get time to hang out with politicians all day long. They got time for all that? What? They're not working very hard. They're working very smart. They delegate a lot. They have a lot of people underneath them who are doing a lot of work. That's true. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not mad at them for that. That's great. Good for them. Good for them. I'm glad. I wish we all could have that. That's amazing. But don't think it's all hard work. It's not all hard work. It's not. It's smart work. You need to be smarter in what you're doing. Smarter in how you're acting. Not just that. The most successful people, they always have time for the gym, don't they? They got time for the gym. They got time to play golf. They got time to recharge. Why don't you? President of the United States has time to recharge. You don't. That's your fault. I don't even mean. That's your fault. Change your lifestyle. You got to fix it. You need time to recharge. Or what's going to happen is you're going to get sick and you're going to drop dead at 50. You see it all the time, all across America. Don't do that. Find time to recharge. It does matter. Guys, I hope this was a good show so far. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, guys, click that like button. It's what you asked for. I will try to give stuff that you asked for. I'm going to be doing a family law show coming up here because you guys asked about family law. I'll be doing a family law show either tomorrow or the day after. I'm not sure which one, but I will do a family law show because you asked about that one. That's also on my list. Hold on. The other list, I got stuff I got to do. I got a family law show, one I got to do. You've also asked me for public banking. I'll be doing that one too. A dating show. And also contextual language show and a Star Trek show. So I've got 5 more I got to put out. I've not done yet. I haven't forgotten. You guys asked. I've been slowly knocking them out. I got those 5 left. I got them in the pipeline. I will work on those eventually. While I start to do some things that are topical and not. Guys, if you haven't reshared it, it's because you hate me. Why do you hate me? I'm giving you such good stuff. Don't hate me. Reshare this, repost this. Please subscribe on YouTube if you want to. By the way, if you want business tips, I have a 3rd YouTube channel, which I do not use at all for this at all, but has a bunch of free videos on it about business stuff. It's called The Neo Sage. That is my business, as you can see here, and also there. That's the name of my company, Neo Sage, right? So if you want to go to The Neo Sage YouTube page, a bunch of videos are free. Take them if you want to. All good. But please, no matter what, subscribe. It does matter. Super chat me. I love them. Become a member if you can. It's very helpful, guys. Every bit does count. Become a member, please, on either Rumble or on YouTube. And once this is over, please, here's what I want you to do. Please put in the comments. Please put in the comments one thing you want to achieve for 2025. One thing, so we can all see it. I'll go back on it, and I'll respond to each one of them. One thing you want to achieve in 2025. Guys, I will be back on tomorrow at 7. I might be doing the family court, I'm not sure, or something else, but I will do it this week. I promise. And an AMA also. You guys want AMAs? I'll do an AMA this Saturday. I will see you all